Hi, Dr. P here to talk about a common but wrong way to design a game. This will be two parts because it's fairly long. My usual caveat, the slides are very wordy. I may say near exactly what's on the slides sometimes. I expect most people will listen to this rather than watch it. Now, what I'm going to describe is typical for inexperienced designers. But it can happen with experienced designers as well. It's a simple enough trap. It's a trap partly because it tends to follow the natural course of action in game design, but experienced designers know that they can't rely on it or indulge in it. Essentially, it's putting too much stuff into a game, and in particular, solving problems in the game not by rearranging the game, but by adding something to it. Now, when a designer is conceiving a game before he's made a prototype, he or she will have lots of ideas of things that can be added into the game. Even at this stage, part of the designer's task is to get rid of the inessential. The more you get rid of before you're actually using it, the better. Games are generally quite simple when you strip them down to their essence. Don't lumber them with unnecessary extras. Inexperienced designers especially, but any designer, can fail when they get to the prototype and testing stage. They make a game, they play test it, it's more complex than it needs to be, or for other reasons it turns out not to work. It just doesn't work right. So what do? A good designer then goes through the sometimes tedious process of deconstructing the game and then simplifying it. A weak designer instead tries to add more stuff to fix what isn't working right, and that's the wrong way to make a game. Don't add things to fix other things. Subtract. Games benefit from what's been called harmony, where everything fits together in a pleasing whole, where nothing appears to be tacked on. If you simplify the game rather than add on, you're more likely to end up with a harmonious game and with a better game. But it's harder to do. Now, I've borrowed the word kludge from software development. A kludge in software is a tacked-on solution that isn't an integral part of the software but solves some problem. That problem ought to be solved inside the main program, not tacked on. It's ugly, but it may work. What the weak designers of games are doing with a game that's too complicated or just doesn't work is to introduce rule kludges. Add things. This can work, but often it doesn't, and in any case, it's inharmonious. So I'm going to give you some examples of where it worked in part 2, because where it doesn't work, frequently the game is not published at all. Now, I can't say for certain how these things were added, because I'm not part of the design process. I'm not inside the designer's head. But you can look at the game from outside and say, boy, that just doesn't fit with the rest of it. And I'll talk more about this in part 2.